In the quaint town of Willowbrook stands a Victorian house that carries a tale of mystery and dread. Nestled on the edge of the woods, this old house whispers the story of the Sinclair family. Once a home filled with love and laughter, it became a silent witness to a tragic loss, the mysterious passing of a young life, infant Emily Sinclair. Years rolled by and the house, wrapped in its tragic past, stood silent and empty until a young couple, Sarah and David, decided to make it their home. Newlywed and filled with dreams, they were oblivious to the house's dark history. They saw not a house of sorrow but a canvas to paint their future. Yet, as the sun began to set, the house seemed to awaken. The silence of the night was pierced by faint cries echoing through the chilly air. As the sun sets, the couple hears faint cries that echo through the silence of the night. Sarah discovers an antique baby doll, a seemingly innocent find that soon becomes the source of their nightmares. In the quaint Willowbrook town, Sarah and David, the town's newest residents, find an antique store. Sarah, with an eye for vintage items, immediately spots the doll. It's a delicate thing, its porcelain skin reflecting years of tender care, and its glassy eyes holding an allure that Sarah couldn't resist. She brings it home, placing it in the empty crib that sits in the center of the nursery. As the moon takes its place in the night sky, a chilling wind sweeps through the old Victorian house. A faint cry echoes through the silent halls. David dismisses it as the wind, but Sarah isn't convinced. The cries continue, each night growing louder, more desperate, more human. With each passing day, Sarah begins to notice oddities. The doll, which she'd left lying in the crib, now sits upright, its glassy eyes seeming to follow her every move. Each time she hears the cries, she finds the doll in a different position, its porcelain features twisted into a grotesque grin. A chill runs down her spine, and she can't shake the feeling of being watched. One night, Sarah wakes to the sound of a baby cooing. She nudges David awake, fear gripping her heart. The house is supposed to be empty, yet the cooing sounds as if it's coming from the nursery. They approach cautiously, the door creaking open to reveal the doll sitting upright in the crib, its eyes glowing eerily in the dark. The cries now sound eerily human. The doll's eyes seem to hold a malevolent gleam. As Sarah reaches out to the antique doll, the cries abruptly stop. An icy chill fills the room and she pulls back, a sense of dread settling in her heart. Fear grips Sarah as she wakes up to sounds of a baby cooing in the house that was supposed to be empty. The doll, once a seemingly innocent find, now becomes a source of terror. As the cries echo through the house, Sarah and David realize they've disturbed something they shouldn't have, something that was better left alone. The antique doll, it seems, holds a sinister secret, one that has its roots in the tragic past of the old Victorian house. As they investigate the source of the sounds, the couple stumbles upon a chilling revelation. Sarah and David, their hearts pounding like a drum, find themselves standing on the threshold of the nursery. Its once welcoming atmosphere now replaced by a bone-chilling cold that makes them shiver. The cries they've been hearing, growing louder and more desperate, seem to be emanating from the crib. As they inch closer, the antique doll that Sarah had lovingly placed there now sits upright, its glassy eyes glowing with an unnatural light. The cries now sound eerily human, and they fill the room with a sense of dread that's impossible to ignore. And then silence. A silence so profound, it's as if the house itself is holding its breath. Suddenly, a voice, chilling and clear, cuts through the silence. "Give her back to me." The voice seems to be coming from the doll, its lifeless eyes now filled with an unspeakable sadness. Sarah and David freeze, their blood turning to ice. "Emily wants her doll back," the voice continues, each word echoing through the room like a death knell. As if the words were a summons, a figure materializes before them. It's Emily Sinclair, the lost child of the house, her eyes empty sockets, her presence radiating malevolence. "You have trespassed in my domain, now you shall suffer the consequences," she warns, her icy voice sending shivers down their spines. Fear grips Sarah and David as they realize they are not alone in this house. They are sharing it with a restless spirit, a spirit bound to this world by her attachment to her beloved doll. In a desperate attempt to escape, they turn to flee the nursery, but the door slams shut behind them, trapping them inside with Emily and her doll. Their screams of terror are swallowed by the ancient walls of the house, leaving only the chilling laughter of the doll echoing in the room. The nursery door slams shut, leaving them trapped with the malevolent spirit and her doll. As the echoes of their futile screams die out, the haunted house of Willowbrook settles back into its eerie silence, ready to welcome its next unsuspecting guests. The haunting memory of Emily's ghost and the crying doll forces Sarah and David to leave Willowbrook. In the wake of their chilling encounter, Sarah and David hastily packed their belongings, the eerie cries of the doll still echoing in their ears. The once charming Victorian house had now become a nightmarish prison they couldn't escape fast enough. As they drove away, the rearview mirror revealed the silhouette of the house, standing ominously against the dusk, as if bidding them a sinister farewell. The couple never looked back, leaving behind the cursed doll and the ghostly echoes of baby Emily's cries. In the aftermath, the house lay abandoned, its dark history echoing through the desolate rooms. The nursery, once filled with anticipation of new life, was now shrouded in shadows, its only occupant the antique baby doll, its eyes seeming to glow with an unnatural light. Rumors swirled around the town of Willowbrook, whispers of the Sinclair family's tragic past, of the haunted nursery, and of the doll that cried in the night. The legend of Emily Sinclair and her ghostly cries grew, chilling the bones of those who dared to speak her name. As years turned into decades, the tale of Emily Sinclair became a ghost story told around crackling campfires, a spine-chilling bedtime story meant to frighten children into obedience. Despite the passage of time, the house remained untouched, a grim monument to a past best left forgotten. Even today, if you venture to the outskirts of Willowbrook, you can still see the old Victorian house, its windows like hollow eyes gazing out into the woods. Many claim that on quiet nights you can still hear the faint sound of a baby's cries, an eerie reminder of the tragedy that once unfolded within its walls. The tale of Emily Sinclair lives on, a chilling reminder of the past's restless spirits. So, next time you find yourself passing by an old house with its own tale to tell, remember the story of Emily Sinclair. Tread lightly, for you never know what secrets may lie dormant, waiting to be awakened.